Is how we do it on the Bumper Breakfast Show, and it's time to talk sports on Bumper Sports this morning. Welcome to the program. My name is Shayo Owolabi. Well, it's a loaded package as always, talking about what's been happening across the world of sports and what will still happen today. Of course, maybe tomorrow. We'll be giving you all the details on the show this morning. And this morning, we're not starting with tennis. Tennis has been like on the front burner, but it's still part of the story this morning. But we start with golf. And this time around, it's talking about that man, Padraig Harrington. Yes, he will captain Team Europe for the Ryder Cup in 2020. And talk about being futuristic, talk about planning ahead, talk about getting their acts right. The tournament is 20 months away, but they're not leaving anything to chance, because they know that when the captain is named, he has to go shopping for the players that will be representing him. And well, they have to defend the title they won in 2018, and that's the man you can see on your screen, Padraig Harrington. He will be the captain of Team Europe for the Ryder Cup, which is coming up at Whistling Straits in the United States in 2020. He's 47. He was vice captain when Europe won the trophy back under the leadership of Thomas Bjorn. That was in September of 2018. And Harrington actually played in 6 successive Ryder Cups from 1999 and was on the winning team on 4 occasions. He had the backing of top players like Rory McIlroy and Justin Rose, who felt that he would be the man to lead them. Of course, those two stand a very bright chance of being on the team to Whistling Straits in the United States for the 2020 Ryder Cup. And I'm switching gears now. Let's talk tennis. Like I said, tennis definitely will be on the front burner, considering the fact that the first Grand Slam is just about 5 days away. Talking about the Australian Open, which will be coming up at Wimbledon. At Melbourne, sorry about that, at Melbourne. And well, let's look at those two you can see on your screen. That's the title they won last year. That's January last year, the Australian Open. Roger Federer and Caroline Wozniacki, they will be reuniting with the trophies later. That's tomorrow, when the draws for the 2019 Australian Open is held. They've been confirmed to be in attendance at that one, and there are talks that well, it's the first time they will be reuniting with the trophy after they won it. You know, you can't take it home. You just get to do some pictorials with it and get it back to the organizers of the tournament, and they're both looking forward to reuniting with those 2 trophies and maybe say something and see if they can get to win the trophy again this year. Roger Federer, in my opinion, stands a very bright chance. Caroline Wozniacki, maybe not there yet, but of course, in the build-up to the tournament, she can still stake a claim to that particular one. And still staying with tennis this morning, world number 4, Elina Svitolina, that's of Ukraine, yesterday met with 360 Australian Open ball kids. Well, the ball kids, like you can see, that's the picture. The ball kids are very instrumental to the game of tennis, because they stand like they're waiting upon the players, helping them to get the balls, helping them to look at which balls are right for them, and they play a very vital role. They're selected from across the world. You're talking about, of course, the age between 12 and 15. They're selected from all over the world. Talk about 293 from within, over 300 actually from within Australia, and other countries also had kids coming in from there. 20 from Korea, 10 from India, 6 from China, and 2 from France, all coming together to make it a great Australian Open. And I'm talking about Svitolina this morning. I want to start doing a player profile. Well, I'll be able to do just a few, but it's still something to look at, talking about the Australian Open. And this morning we're looking at Svitolina and Alexander Zverev. Let's look at the profile. Let's see the chances going into the Australian Open, which starts next week Monday.
First, I know that I'm one of the favorite here, but for me, expectations never gonna be as high as I have for myself. I always try to put this on the side and just go on court and do my best.
But Svitolina's really striking as well. Hits a beautiful backhand up the line.
I always try to fight until the last ball. Always, even when I'm down, I always try to, to make the player play one more shot and try to push my limit as well.
Hitting a stride right now.
I have this from when I was young. I've always been very competitive with my brother, so I think it's a little bit transferred from my childhood.
Oh, it's lovely from Zverev. Really tremendous shot from the young German.
I absolutely love tennis. I absolutely love the process, and it's exciting for me. I think I can see how I'm getting better, and I can see how I'm getting better in 5 sets.
That's slammed away by Zverev.
A few years back when I played 5 sets, I just wasn't as fit as now, and I played, worse players and much shorter, and I was still exhausted. But now, I'm quite strong and I feel quite well on court.
And Zverev gets there for the winner. Oh, that's tremendous tennis.
Yeah, I am close. I kind of showed it a few times last year.
Everybody is on their feet on Rod Laver Arena for Sasha Zverev.
Well, I know that I still have to work very hard and I still have to, improve a lot.
That's a good backhand from Zverev.
It's exciting. I think it's going to be an exciting year for me.
All right, welcome back. Talk about a true German machine in Alexander Zverev. He is one for the future, but the truth is, he's not letting the future. He's not waiting for the future, and he wants to send the likes of Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Andy Murray into early retirement because he's taking a claim for the Australian Open this year. And who says it's beyond him? Looking at how the year's been in 2018, the build-up to the Upman Cup, and getting into this particular tournament. Fingers crossed to see how well and how far he will go at that tournament. Let's move now to the NBA. The regular season continued. Games were played yesterday, but some of the results: Cleveland Cavaliers, they lost yet again. Now 10 straight losses for them. How could you lose LeBron James and everything goes down? It's almost like talking about Real Madrid losing Cristiano Ronaldo in football. Well, they lost to the Indiana Pacers 115-123. LA Clippers they defeated the Charlotte Hornets 128-109. The Golden State Warriors 122-95 was the victory they got against the New York Knicks. We also saw the Toronto Raptors and the Denver Nuggets getting victories against the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat. And later today there are 10 games, but we just look at 5 of them. Boston Celtics will be up against the Indiana Pacers. There's the Detroit Pistons taking on the LA Lakers. Brooklyn Nets are up against the Atlanta Hawks. There is Dallas Mavericks up against the Phoenix Suns, and we'll see Memphis Grizzlies taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Well, like it's our culture on the Bumper Sports, let's serve you the NBA top 10 plays from yesterday. Interesting one. Look out for the number 1. What James Harden did to that guy should not be forgiven, but then what can I say?
8 games of Monday Night Basketball. We got your top 10 right here on NBA.com. At number 10, it's Donovan Mitchell with a hesitation, then a step we call European to free him from the D on this rim spree. Donovan Mitchell gets in at number 10 with that lefty layup. On to number 9, and speaking of European, number 77's got a game straight from heaven. Luka Doncic with the step-back three-point attack, and you can't stop that. That's good for number 9. At 8, it's our first jam. De'Aaron Fox flat rocks Nick Vucevic. Watch the replay, though. Fox tells the big man, don't jump. But my advice, jump higher if you aspire to be a rim denier. That's in at 8. To Houston for number 7, where a rocket takes flight. Clint Capella goes flying along the baseline for number 7 for those Houston Rockets. In New Orleans for 6, where Anthony Davis is showing off that one dribble handle before going behind the back to Julius Randle at the rack. The big man with the dime, that gets him in at number 6. At number 5, it's a first ballot NBA.com top 10 Hall of Famer, folks. Blake Griffin still showing the burst as he goes reverse against the San Antonio Spurs. That's good for number 5. To number 4 for our nightly check-in with the Greek Freak. Giannis goes coast to coast, leaving the Jazz D toast as Antetokounmpo gets the one-handed hammer throw. That's in at number 4. At number 3, are we seeing NBA history? Is this a center pulling a sham god? Anthony Davis splitting up the D like Paul Bunyan split up a tree as he gets in at number 3. To Dallas for number 2, where we all get the pleasure of taking a ride on the gym elevator. throwing down the and one detonator. Look at how high that guy can fly. That's in at number 2. But at number 1, if you saw it, you know what's coming. Jamal takes a fall, and that's all, y'all. James Harden flat dropped him then, in no hurry to get away from Murray. The Beard stepped back and dropped that 3. Harden flattening Murray worse than Bama got flattened by Clemson, gets him in at number 1 on the NBA.com.
Alright, welcome back. Talk about letting that guy lie down in green pastures. Maybe not green pastures, but on the court of the NBA. James Harden doing that one there. I tell you, it definitely is the number 1 when it comes to the MVP for the regular season. I'm not sure anyone is dragging that with James Harden, but then we'll wait for the decision to be made. Alright, let's talk football this morning. And quick reminder, match day 3 in the NNL Super 8 will be coming up today, and it's a done of decision because today decides the teams that will get to play in the NPFL. That's the ultimate goal. Yes, to win the Super 8 is good, but the ultimate goal is to qualify to play in the Premier Football of Nigerian League, and that's talking about the NPFL. Gombe United will be up against Kada City. There's Kogi United up against Real Stars. We would also say Insurance up against 3SC, and Delta Force, they're the whipping boys of their group. They would face Remo Stars. Okay, let's talk about the CAF Awards, but just before that, let's talk about the host for the Africa Cup of Nations, which was decided earlier in the day. It was an eventful day for the Confederation of African Football, and Egypt eventually became the host, and they were picked to host the 2019 African Cup of Nations ahead of South Africa. You know, the two teams, the two countries put in a bid after Cameroon were stripped of the hosting rights, and now it's Egypt who have been selected. And I was considering not going for this tournament, but after seeing a particular video that the Egyptian Football Federation put out showing so many fantastic places, I think I should start making my travel plans to go for that one. But I can't share the video today. Maybe on Friday you will get to see it, and maybe you also will join me on that trip to go to Egypt and catch the very best of the African Cup of Nations in June and July this year. Maybe that's the best way to spend the summer for the year 2019. Well, back to the CAF Awards, which was held later in the evening. That was yesterday night, and it was a lot of razzmatazz, a lot of performances and display, and that man on your screen was eventually crowned the African Player of the Year for the men. Mo Salah is his name. He's won it back to back now. Well, against the same set of guys, talking about Sadio Mane, his teammate at Liverpool, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who plays for Arsenal and for Gabon. So Mo Salah, back-to-back winner of the African Player of the Year. And talking about for the Women's Player of the Year, I said this when the shortlist was released for the top 3, and I knew she was going to get it based on performance she had in Ghana at the African Women Cup of Nations, and that's talking about Christina Thembi Katlana. That's the South African Bayana player. She definitely has had a great year 2018, and no better way to crown it up than to be named the Women's Player of the Year. She took that crown off Asisa Toshuala, our own Asisa Toshuala. She didn't do well at the tournament with Marseille, and Katlana definitely deserves this award she has won. And she also got the Goal of the Year. That was a big surprise, but she got the Goal of the Year. Don't forget, she was the top scorer at the African Women Cup of Nations in Ghana with 5 goals. She was the MVP of that tournament, and well, I'm not sure anyone was going to drag this particular one with her. So Women Player of the Year and Goal of the Year for her at the awards. Looking at the other awards now, Men's Coach of the Year went to Morocco's Hervé Renard. Well, he's traversed Africa with some teams, and now he's doing it with Morocco. He won that one. And for the Women's Coach of the Year, it's South Africa's Desiree Ellis. Desiree Ellis won that one. She won that one. For the Men's National Team of the Year, the team, it went to Mauritania. Yes, Mauritania, Men's Team of the Year. Women's Team of the Year, the Super Falcons, as always. Well, they're champions of the African continent, and they've won this award also for the Women's National Team of the Year. We saw the Federation President go to Falzi Lekia. Fawzi Lekia is the Moroccan Football Federation president. He won that one. And Platinum Award, I feel this one is just to compensate for hosting the whole of Africa. It went to His Excellency Macky Sall. That's the president of Senegal. So those are the awards. It was a great night. Of course, Achraf Hakimi of Morocco won the Young Player of the Year also. And it was a great night. Fantastic night for all the winners. And now talking about Africa Best 11, it was also released yesterday at the unveiled at the awards. And you're looking at in goal, Dennis Onyango is there, as you can see on your screen. In defense, Sergio Aurier, Nedi Benatia, Eric Bailly. Big surprise. How well did he do in 2018? Kalidou Koulibaly, who plays for Napoli, is there also. In midfield, there's Naby Keita. There's Thomas Partey of Atletico Madrid, Riyad Mahrez of Manchester City. And in the attack, of course, the trio of Mane, Aubameyang, and Mohamed Salah. No one is contesting that one with them. All right, quickly, let's go to Europe now and still talking football. Tottenham 1-0 against Chelsea was the result we saw yesterday. Controversial, though, as you would see in the highlights to be shown in a bit. Talking about Tottenham taking on Chelsea in the EFL Cup semi-final first leg.
Nelson to Trippier. A brilliant goal for Harry Kane. He did well to get it on target with the acrobatics. Ali makes a run. Kane makes a run. And the referee is going to check on the VAR. That's exactly the case we've been talking about here. Was he offside? And if he wasn't...
He's put his flag up. I mean, he was very late.
He is told to put his flag up.
Okay. Okay, I mean, it looked a tight one. I was looking down at the linesman straight away.
This is coming from the VAR headquarters at Stockley Park.
I think he's just... Oh, no, is he on? He's level on that line.
Well,
yeah. Level on there.
What that caption says, it's the penalty now that they're checking.
Yeah. Better angle for them. I think they're going to give a pen here.
It is a penalty. It's a yellow card for the culprit, Arrizabalaga. It did take around a minute and a half for the verdict to come in, but it gives Harry Kane a penalty opportunity here. And the first goal of the semi-final goes to Spurs from the penalty spot. Assisted by VAR, converted by Harry Kane. Willian, good chance for a cross here. Oh, what a good effort by N'Golo Kanté, who certainly can improve in the attacking part of his game, and he's made a very good run here.
All right, there you have it. Of course, the decision, if he wasn't offside, then it was definitely a penalty. But if it was offside, it wasn't going to be a penalty, and we know it was the other case. It wasn't offside, so it was definitely a penalty. So not much of a controversy there, especially if you're a Tottenham fan. All right, guys, let's wrap up this morning. Manchester City will face Bolton Albion in the other semi-final of the EFL Cup, and there are several games across Europe. Talking about the Copa del Rey, Coupe de la Ligue games also coming up. Real Madrid will take on Leganes in the Copa del Rey. Atletico Madrid travel to face Girona also in the Copa del Rey. PSG will play in the Coupe de la Ligue against Guingamp. That's an interesting one. Monaco, can they win? They will take on Stade Rennais. It's been a topsy-turvy season and session for that man, Thierry Henry, the manager of Monaco. Well, in closing the show this morning, we'll look at Bolton Albion. They're the fairy tale runners in the EFL Cup. They found themselves in the semi-final, probably the greatest times of their lives. Talking about how well they've performed, knocking out the likes of Middlesbrough, Shrewsbury, Burnley along the line. We'll look at how all this came about from the first round to the semi-finals, quarterfinals, and see if they can continue that run against Manchester City later tonight. My name is Shayo Olabi. It's been Bumper Sports on the Bumper Breakfast Show. You know there's still a lot more, so you don't want to leave or change that dial. We'll be right back.